Just after the gold digger woman divorced the CEO, his luxurious convoy arrived to pick her up. The woman was stunned. Then, a group of well-dressed bodyguards emerged. It turned out that 3 days earlier, the CEO's long-lost wealthy father had reappeared. However, in order to test his son's character, the father had deliberately pretended to be critically ill and checked into the ICU. When the CEO saw that his father was near death, he decided to show his final filial piety and went home to get money for his father's treatment. When his wife found out, she scolded him, calling him a fool. She said his father was just faking illness to scam them out of money. She even claimed that his father's condition was incurable. The CEO's brother-in-law also mocked him, saying his father was a bottomless pit and it would be better to let him die. The CEO, clearly upset, insisted that no matter what, his father was still his flesh and blood, and it was his responsibility to use his own money to pay for his treatment. But no matter how much he explained, his family refused to help. Tired of arguing, the CEO went to his room and took his bank card. However, when he tried to withdraw money, he found there was only 0.8 yuan in his account. Enraged, the CEO returned home and demanded to know where the 300,000 yuan had gone. His wife calmly replied that it had been used as a down payment for her brother's house. This money had been the CEO's savings from 20 years of hard work. Furious, the CEO confronted his wife, but she showed no remorse. Instead, she told him that if he didn't like it, they could divorce, and even if they did, she would still take half of his assets. Her brother joined in, mocking the CEO and saying that the only reason his sister married him was because he was lucky. He also added that if it weren't for her, the CEO would never have found a wife. He told the CEO to keep working hard because his monthly salary of 5,000 yuan would still need to pay off his brother-in-law's mortgage. The CEO stormed out, but his wife, worried that he might borrow money to pay for his father's treatment, sent her brother to follow him and make sure he didn't do anything foolish. Meanwhile, the CEO's father was informed about the situation and ordered his secretary to prepare for his resignation. He planned to personally hand over the company to his son. After dismissing everyone else, he wanted to spend time alone with him. However, just as he was about to talk to his son, the CEO left to borrow money from his friends. Before long, the CEO's father found himself surrounded by thugs. His wife sneered and asked if he was the CEO's father. The father, thinking his daughter-in-law had come to visit him, tried to make small talk, but soon her brother started insulting him, followed by the wife, who mocked the CEO's father, claiming he was just a scammer trying to get money from them. Realizing the situation was spiraling out of control, the CEO's father asked what was going on. His wife coldly replied, "You are not worthy to be my father-in-law." Her brother laughed and egged her on. The wife then removed the CEO's father's oxygen mask and began torturing him. She called for help to throw him out of the room. Her brother kicked the CEO's father off the bed, and the wife stomped on his chest, threatening to throw him out of the window. Just as the CEO's father was barely holding on, a nurse rushed in. The wife quickly told the nurse to discharge her father-in-law, claiming she had the authority as his daughter-in-law. The nurse warned her that if she kept acting like this, she would call security. Before leaving, the wife threatened the CEO's father, telling him she would be back. Meanwhile, the CEO was still trying to borrow money from his friends, but they mocked him, giving him only 1,000 yuan and telling him to leave quickly before he caused more bad luck. The CEO's heart was shattered. His friend invited him to an event that evening, an inheritance banquet hosted by a wealthy man who had found his long-lost son. The CEO asked if he could attend, but the friend sarcastically told him no one would care about him looking so poor. The friend also introduced his new boyfriend, further humiliating the CEO. When the CEO's secretary called, he was told the banquet would begin in an hour, and that after the event, he would be the youngest and wealthiest entrepreneur. The secretary urged him to get ready. Meanwhile, the nurse informed the CEO that his father's condition had worsened. The secretary hurried to the hospital, but soon learned that it was the wife who was causing trouble. Despite the worsening situation, the CEO's father remained calm and told the secretary that this debt would be repaid slowly. But for now, the banquet was the priority. At the same time, the wife was with another man, calling him husband. The CEO, in disbelief, confronted her. She accused him of stalking her, but she showed no shame as she declared that with his monthly salary of 5,000 yuan, he didn't deserve a wife. Just as the man was about to mock the CEO, the wife told him to leave and ordered security to throw him out. Little did she know, the CEO was actually the main guest of the event. When the CEO confronted his wife, she slapped him, denying he was her husband. Then, as the CEO revealed that his father was the chairman of the banquet, everyone in the room was stunned. The wife was left speechless, realizing her mistake too late. In a dramatic turn of events, the CEO's father arrived at the banquet, and the wife was suddenly overwhelmed with guilt, realizing her actions had been exposed. The CEO was no longer the man she thought he was someone far more powerful than she had ever imagined.